The next game on our list is the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to New Orleans to take on the Saints. The Raiders coming into this game with just 2 wins, I should say. They are 2 and what are they? Why am I not seeing the standings
2-4.
for this team? 2-4. I was like, why is this not available and readily available for myself? Raiders are 2-4. Saints are 2-5 in this matchup. Raiders do have the advantage. They get the points here, -1.5, with an over/under of 49.5. Aaron, last week we saw your guy. I'm not going to take credit for Josh Jacobs because you were all aboard the Josh Jacobs train well before anyone else. Your guy, Josh Jacobs, handled business for the Raiders with another 140-plus rushing yard game, dominating in the touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns, 20 carries. The Raiders are finding their key to success of Josh Jacobs. We've talked about that heavily. But on the Saints side, it's almost a similar thing. The key to their success is Alvin Kamara. And when they give Alvin Kamara the touches, they're normally getting the wins. Which team needs their running back more, though?
Oof. Damn it. I can't even say Josh Jacobs and the Raiders. Because I'll be honest, I truly believe they both need him heavily, but I would have to lean towards Alvin Kamara because the Saints offense is nothing without Alvin Kamara. This is the driving force. And the Saints have a really good rush offense as well. A lot of that has to do with Taysom Hill. But Alvin Kamara is just the Swiss Army knife of a player that he is. His ability to get out of the backfield and create openings and space on the field for other players is very unparalleled in the NFL. It's very Christian McCaffrey-like, and I know he doesn't get the volume or the opportunities that Christian McCaffrey gets, but I do believe Alvin Kamara, with those opportunities, could do Christian McCaffrey numbers and do what Christian McCaffrey does. He's that type of player. So for me, it's the Saints having to get Alvin Kamara involved, especially when you're going to start Andy Dalton, who we saw turn the ball over twice, 2 pick sixes, cost him that win, really. Find ways to check it down, find ways to get the ball in the hands of Alvin Kamara, and then you take your shots with Chris Olave or deep ball over the middle to the tight end, Juwan Johnson, or again, in the red zone, they use Taysom Hill a lot. So it gets their offense rolling, and it allows them to get into rhythm and stay in front of the chains, and that's when they're at their best. That's when the Saints are actually an effective offensive football team. So you got to go with Alvin Kamara as far as being the focal point. I do think the Raiders have an advantage of having Derek Carr and Davante Adams to say, hey, if the running game's not working, we might not always be able to do it, but we could go win a game if we had to with guys like that.
Does Alvin Kamara get in the end zone this week?
Man, look, I don't care about your fantasy team, Vinny.
I don't have Alvin Kamara. Well, I have him on one of them.
But usually when you ask that question, it's always all player about your fantasy team.
This is more of the fact that he was 6th in the NFL last year in touchdowns, and this year he has
I don't think it matters.
touchdowns.
I don't think it matters because those touchdowns that Taysom Hill is getting, they easily could be Alvin Kamara's. They're just using Taysom Hill in that role. So Taysom Hill might get the touchdowns, and Alvin Kamara might get the usage in yards. From a game, again, from a non-fantasy perspective, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If Calvin Kamara is taking him down the field and getting him into the red zone, and then they want to go with Taysom Hill, sure, why not? It doesn't matter.
All right. It wasn't fantasy related, but thank you very much for answering it.
On the Raiders,
yeah, it is. But it was an interesting note, and I did say it wrong. Alvin Kamara is 6th in the NFL in terms of touchdowns in his first 5 seasons in the NFL. So, never mind. Disregard my stat. It's a mess. Raiders things. We talk about Josh Jacobs being a big part of this team, but their big offseason move was to acquire Davante Adams this past year to hook him up with Derek Carr. AJ, what's your assessment through 6 games for the Raiders of Davante Adams and Derek Carr?
I mean, they like each other. They're good friends. Davante Adams is really good at football. I mean,
that's good.
Did it move the needle as much as we were expecting? Apparently not. But that just goes to show you, and Aaron says this all the time, wide receivers are not the reason you win football games. They help. They're a big part of it, but they're not the one-all, end-all, be-all. The Raiders have a lot to focus on, and the fact that their offense does have this power, they've been winning 2 out of the last 3 games, but where does that come from? That guy back there on that screen up there, that dog, Josh Mr. Jacobs, being able to run the ball with him, because these teams can't just be like, oh, we have to attack all of our attention to Josh Jacobs, because if we do that, now I have to worry about Davante Adams being one-on-one on the outside and no defensive players winning that. Now I have to worry about Hunter Renfrow coming across the middle in the slot, and most of the times he's going to win. Darren Waller is going to be healthy again this week. He's probably going to be a problem if they just focus on Josh Jacobs. So bringing Davante Adams in is a big help because now it spreads the defense just that much more thin. The connection with Derek Carr and Davante Adams when he needs a guy, he's got a go-to guy. Davante Adams is a go-to guy for any quarterback, and he's had the luxury of being able to get a very good friendship and chemistry with Aaron Rodgers when he was in Green Bay, and now he's had the luxury to go to a guy who's always had a great friendship with and has continued this chemistry. The go-to guy for Derek Carr, and if there's some what's it called, heroism? I can't say the word. It's leaving me. But if Derek Carr needs to be a hero,
playing hero ball,
he's got a guy that he knows can help him do it on the other side. That word just literally just jumped out of my brain right when I wanted to see it.
It's like nope. You're like nope. I don't want to go out. I don't want to. All right. Well, let's do predictions here. I've got the Raiders here 28-24. Not much to this. I think this game does come down to both running backs, and I will go with the hotter running back here in Josh Jacobs and take the Raiders 28-24. AJ, who you got?
I got the Raiders in a slightly higher scoring game, 31-27, I think I said. I can just look at it right there on the screen. See? Boom, there it is. Yep. 31-27. Saints defense, not great. Honestly, way worse than we thought they would be. The Raiders will be able to put up some points, and the Saints find ways to put out points. So I think this is going to be a little bit of a shootout. 31-27, Raiders. Yeah, Raiders.
Yeah, I'm taking the Raiders as well. I think the Raiders' running game is going to work. The Saints are bottom half against run defense, which is weird because they've been in the top 5 run defensive teams since I can remember. And this year, they're just not. They're getting ran on. Raiders have been running it well. Give me the Raiders here, 27-23.